morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. You know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask the questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. After years of closure due to missing and damaged equipment, the Shore Park packing house has reopened thanks to Tadco staff who cleaned and repainted the facility. Chairman Ricardo Alfred highlighted past budget constraints, but this year's focus allowed the reopening. The facility now supports agro-processors with specialized equipment, quality control, and processing services, offering tools like crinkle cut fries machine and multifunctional cutters. Additionally, Ronaldo John, entrepreneur and owner of Rashad's Men's Store and the Healing Garden, has added author to his achievement with the launch of a new book, Bago Boy, at the Scarborough Library. The book shares the inspiring journey of a young Tobago entrepreneur's success and aims to promote Tobago's culture and entrepreneurial spirit as a key tourism product. As part of the launch, John introduced the Bago Youth Foundation, dedicated to empowering young minds. Proceeds from the book will support the foundation, and John expressed gratitude to Tobagonians for their support in making the book a success. And finally, members of the People's National Movement have condemned Chief Secretary Farley Augustine for a recent statement seemingly towards Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Following the failure of the Tobago Autonomy Bill in Parliament on Monday, Augustine took to his Facebook page stating, "Nothing is worse than when your relative who is in a seat of power is nothing but a house slave that ignores the real dreams and aspiration of those he left behind in the field in Tobago." Hashtag house slave mentality. Hashtag wicked PNM. PNM Senator Lawrence Hislop, Minority Leader Kelvon Morris, and Minority Councillor Petalon Benoit, and the National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines are among those who have labelled the statements disrespectful, and the Prime Minister has not commented on the statements. That was on news in 90 seconds. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to $20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary Lower, Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, we have some interesting conversations set for you this morning, but before we get into that, we want to say a special happy anniversary to our Chief Secretary, Farley Chavez Augustine, who is also the political leader of the Tobago People's Party, and his First Lady. So we are saying a special happy anniversary to them, and we're wishing them nothing but long life, health, strength, prosperity, and a healthy and happy marriage and family life. Now, this morning I have the opportunity to chat online with someone who is no stranger to our show here on Tobago Updates. We've had a number of conversations here on our morning show. But this morning we are adding an extra title to his name, actually, as we have Dr. Winford James, who recently got the Tobago Gold Medal of Honor. And so we are calling him a gold medal honoree. Good morning to you, Dr. James. But before we get into our conversation this morning, let's have a clip from the award ceremony.
I loved teaching. Wherever I taught, I loved teaching. I love to explain stuff to my students. I like to see them learn and grow. And that is without exception wherever I taught. It was the teaching service, because I felt I could make the most contribution to the youths of the island, that is Tobago, and for my own advancement. And of course, I loved to read and to acquire information and to develop skills for the dispensation of that information.
Dr. Winford James, the Tobago Medal of Honor Gold in the sphere of education.
Good morning, Dr. James, and how are you?
I'm fine, I'm strong and good.
Well, we are happy to see you, and we are calling you a gold medalist now, right?
Okay, I'll take that.
All right. So tell us, how was that experience for you, and were you expecting that?
Well, people from the House of Assembly called me and
Right.
prepared me for the event. So, but before they called me, I had no sense that the organizers of the event were thinking of giving me the gold, right? When I learned, I conferred with loved ones in a circle, and they all agreed that I should take the honor that was being offered to me. So I felt good. I don't want to make it sound as if that is the end all and be all of my achievements. There are other things, but I accept and recognize the honor, and I'm grateful for it.
Excellent. Well, we want to say a special congratulations to you, and we hope that this is not the end for you, or it doesn't feel like the end because you're getting a medal, but the beginning of a lot more that you feel like you still want to do and accomplish. How are you encouraging some of your other colleagues in your field who have been doing the work and done the work and feel like the work has not been recognized? Do you have anything to say to those persons?
Who do you have in mind, if I may ask?
No, I'm not speaking about anyone in particular. You know, you may have colleagues, other professionals who have put in the work for years. And, you know, sometimes there is the feeling of, you know, persons are not appreciative or not really seeing the work that they might be putting forward. Do you have anything to tell those persons?
We are
particularly?
bedfellows, you know, we are academics. We put in the work, as you say. We write papers. Some of us have produced books. And I just want to say that even if the reward, that particular award, does not come, there are other things that have come and keep coming. I find that if I were to compare the gold medal that they gave me to anything else, it would be to what my students have to say about me, the way I taught them and the way I train them to go about researching and acquiring new knowledge and producing new. It is the regard of my students that matters most to me. As I said, I'm not poo-pooing the idea that of the gold itself, but the regard of my students for Dr. James, who taught them a variety of things and who encouraged them to go along the same path. The same thing applies to my colleagues. We all know what we have gone through. And if there are others, and there must be, who deserve being treated in the way that I have been treated, then that award will come to them in due course. One hopes before they pass on. But I believe that that reward will come their way. Either now or later. But if it doesn't, they have the regard of their students to, you know, to be joyful about. So that's what I would say. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, Dr. James, we're going to take a quick break right here and we're going to be back right after this. So see you very soon.
Okay.
Please be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service has been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shore Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
Get ready for the most magical event of the season. The Tobago Gospel Promoters proudly presents Christmas Village. Christmas Village. Everything Christmas at the Scarborough Esplanade, Tobago. From the 18th to the 21st of December, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily. 4 nights of live entertainment. Los Cantantes de Jesus. And from Tobago, El Corazon de Parang, Blessed Messenger, Janex, Bijon Pier, choirs, steel bands, and dance from across Tobago, and our featured drama production. It's a Christmas production you don't want to miss. From toys to curtains, wines, ginger beer, cake, and a kid zone. 4 days of everything Christmas. For all interested vendors, please contact 392-4060. And for general information on Christmas Village, 786-8736.
We coming together, me and my family,
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic. only at Standard.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and this morning we have been speaking with gold medalist Dr. Winford James. Now, he received the Tobago Medal of Honor Gold recently, and we're talking a bit about that and a number of other things that are happening right now in Tobago. So before you left off, we were talking about, how you felt getting that medal and how that has been for you, the family support, and encouraging some of your other academic colleagues to keep doing the work, keep putting the work in, and understanding that a lot of time the victory comes from seeing your students grow, succeed, and reach for higher heights.
Right. That's the most important thing actually for me. The growth of my students. The fact that they go along a pathway that advances their fortunes and the island and country to which they belong. I am always available to encourage them to go along that pathway.
Excellent. And Dr. James, what about persons who are interested in learning more about the Constitution, the Tobago bills, as well as the THA Act? Are you also willing to help persons who are
in that regard
interested in learning?
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the voices that have been talking about the Constitution, the need for reform, the misfortunes of Tobago since the 1980s, since of course it was ruled by the colonial office and the plantocracy, not the masses of the people. I have been concerned. I believe nobody has written as much as I have on these matters, and you can go check the archives to see what I have produced in relation to the need for Tobago to have a fairer share of the cake that this island continues to enjoy in terms of the resources of the sea east of Tobago, shall we say. So I keep writing, and as I said, that I don't know anyone who's written as many articles on Tobago, but most people do not read. And this is not only Tobagonians I'm talking about, Trinidadians and educated people. My own teachers that I have trained have not been concerned about the issue of autonomy and self-government for Tobago. So there are only a few of us who are writing about the issues. Of course, when we go around or people go around to talk to the communities, then you have a conversation. But I am talking a public conversation with the voices of people all across the island, especially the educated voices who are in a privileged position to learn and pass on their learnings to those who have not been so fortunate. So I'm not so impressed by the extent of the interest that people have with respect to the autonomy question. So we need conversation. Now, I was in the parliament on, was it Tuesday or was it Wednesday? But this week, I was in the parliament and I was in the public gallery. And one of the reasons I went was to see whether the discussions on the two bills would attract a full house in the gallery. And I want to say that hardly anybody was there. The most people who were there in the gallery were PNM supporters and representatives like the minority leader, the senator from Mason Hall, Mr. Hislop, Kelvin Morris, the minority leader, the councillor, and so on. Those were the people there, Larry, Paul. But with respect to other people, there were 3 people sitting on my side, and I didn't know their names, so I don't know if they were people on the opposition or just people who had an interest, and they didn't stay around too long. But I was there looking down at a spectacle, what I would call a spectacle. A bunch of Trinidadian members of parliament, with the exception, of course, of our 2 representatives, Tobago East and Tobago West, Ayana Webster Roy and Shamford Cudjoe Lewis. They were there, but they were on the PNM side. I don't know that they demonstrated that they had an independence of voice that Tobago wants to see in whomever is going to represent them. So we always knew that they were associated with the PNM, but in the discussions, their independence of voice did not come out at all. So there was this holistic PNM position, and therefore the PNM voice was a voice from Trinidad, so to speak, if you want to make it a monolithic voice. That was a Trinidadian voice, posing as perhaps as a Tobago voice in part. And I'm saying this is a matter for Tobagonians. And really, nobody from Tobago was sitting there in the parliament, because of the way we have governed ourselves, sitting there and taking decisions. There were 2 bills, Ms. Felix, and one of them was a Tobago Island government bill. And all the changes that could be made easily for the government was the changes to the TIG, the Tobago Island government bill. The changes would be made by Trinidadians. And of course, those changes only needed a simple majority. So that was I looking down and I said, well, look at this. They are taking decisions on the future of Tobago, the destiny of Tobago, and there was really no Tobagonian voice independent enough to shape things. Now, mind you, the bill came out before that. I think the bill came out in 2021. And it surfaced, of course, when we had the Tobago House of Assembly elections, and then apparently it was pulled back. But Tobago rejected, to the extent that that wasn't a campaign item. Tobago rejected those bills in the Tobago House of Assembly elections by a vote of 14-1, right? But that did not feature in Dr. Rowley's bringing back the document to Parliament. It's almost as if that rejection was of no moment, was of no consequence. You could ignore a decision like that from the electorate at the level of the House of Assembly, where this thing, of course, is going to ultimately play out. So, where the question that arises is, Ms. Felix, where was Tobago representation in the House, in the discussions at the committee stage? Where was the Tobago voice there? I've already said we can only associate Mrs. Lewis, Cudjoe Lewis, and Mrs. Roy, Mrs. Webster Roy, with the Trinidad PNM, so to speak, right? Because they didn't come across as having
But Dr. James, I know that Dr. Dillon, Maria, Dr. Remy was a part of those discussions, because she indicated that she also sat on the committee. And I know for a fact that she has been one of the persons that has continued to raise an independent Tobago voice, in that she would have also been one of those persons to present that matrix on the legislative frameworks that were put forward before, what Tobago wants and what the current bill has. And this was a document that was created by, I believe, Mr. Ho Choi Charles, and a number of other persons who were working on that. So
Well,
she
the other
indicated
person is Miss Melville, Miss Ingrid Melville. So there were three members of that council.
Correct. So she made it her business to ensure that a number of these views, especially from the Tobago position, were a part of that conversation. But I understand
No, but remember,
what you're
don't forget that what I am saying. I was talking about the House of
exactly.
The House of
When it comes to the two elected representatives from Tobago East and West, it seems as though the level of representation that is needed to have a voice that echoes the sentiment of Tobagonians was not there. But there's also the argument from the other side that the sentiments brought forward during the consultation stage were taken into consideration by the consultation that happened in 2021 and everything that was done prior to that, during that time where there was the united parties that came together to have those island-wide consultations on the bills. So
yeah, that was in the Orville bill, as they called it, in 2016, 2017. I think that you're referring to that, right?
Correct. So there is the argument that there's the data to show that these were actual Tobago people's opinions that were put in to some extent, while some of those recommendations were not considered. But we are looking at it from the area of what was sent from this administration to be added as amendments, the areas that the Chief Secretary...
That is after they won the Tobago House of Assembly elections and rejected the attempt by the PNM to foist the two bills upon the population. So we got to keep the context in mind. And with respect to representation, well, I respect the fact that Dr. Dylan Remy, put her mouth in the conversation. She should, So I was happy. We were schoolmates, so there's always a pleasure seeing my schoolmates rise in the world and speak on Tobago's behalf. But Dr. Robbie does not politically represent Tobago, as you know. She is what we have called an independent senator, and she's from Tobago. So there is an interest that she has in the advancement of Tobago. But she is not a representative of the politics of Tobago. You understand that distinction? So while one is happy that she has associated herself with the bills, and if it were to go to the Senate, she would have something to say about that. But when I was talking about watching the spectacle unfolding before my eyes in the chamber, parliamentary chamber, and when I considered that the government could not even decide on, no, I shouldn't put it that way, the government could not even decide that Mrs. Cudjoe Lewis and Mrs. Webster Roy should lead the charge in the discussions. Nothing like that. It's the chairman of the Joint Select Committee, Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis, who was in charge of things, so to speak. Now, if this thing is about Tobago, and if the two Tobago representatives had strong voices on the issue as they arose, and in fact as they started out and as they continue to unfold, then you would expect them to have a higher role in the parliament because of the fact that the focus was on Tobago, right? So I'm saying I didn't see that, and I'm saying, well, look at that. Look at what is unfolding before my eyes. So with respect to the Tobago Island government bill, I am not unhappy that, no, I'm putting that wrongly, because that bill was passed clause by clause, the TIG bill, clause by clause. But the other one, the Tobago constitutional reform bill, I am not unhappy that it was not passed because of the extent to which the Tobago was played down in the parliamentary process. This bill is mostly for Tobago. Of course, there are consequences, implications for the island of Trinidad. This is our thing. This is our thing, and the Prime Minister is supposed to listen to as many voices whenever they arise. He's supposed to listen to those voices and be prepared to make adjustments. This is not something you can be authoritarian about. I know the governments of the island and the House of Assembly, government of Trinidad and Tobago, has an authoritarianism base. But this is not a time for a flexing of authoritarian muscles at all. Right? And when the government brought back the bills, having parked them after the House of Assembly elections, or probably during, when they brought the bills back, it was after that time, It's almost as if nothing had occurred, no views had evolved, nothing like that. So all they did was to bring back amendments that they had adverted to us existed. And so the list of amendments was there since 2021. Yeah, and they brought that same thing. They even brought back a ridiculous proposal with respect to change of name of the Chief Secretary. Moved the name from Chief Secretary to Premier, as if that was something of significance that you had to go through. Oh, there is a mouthful and another mouthful to say about these issues, Ms. Felix.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to come back as we continue this discussion.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back. I am Chanel Felix, and this morning I have been chatting with Dr. Winford James, political analyst, and we're talking a bit about the rejected Tobago Autonomy Bill. Good morning, and welcome back, Dr. James.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Felix.
Right. So before we left off to the break, you indicated that, while you were sitting in the gallery on Monday, you were not disappointed that the Tobago Autonomy Bill was not passed. But there are so many persons saying this felt like such a loss for Tobago, because it seems as though years of work that has been put in to get us to this point has now basically just gone down the drain. What do you have to say about that?
It's politics, Ms. Felix. And people have to play the politics. Tobago is in a disadvantageous position because it has to wait for signals of the Trinidadian voice in Trinidad. All the items that came up there were items that were presided over by the Trinidadian voice. So the question was whether the Tobago voice was sufficiently expressed in the proposals of the Autonomy Bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill. And I don't think that Tobago's voice is sufficiently expressed in the proposals, in some of the proposals that have been presented. Now, the Chief Secretary tells us that he sent information to all the politicians in the House, in the Senate, to Trinidad. He sent something developed by the Ho Choi Charles Council, right? But he got no response. And of course, the Prime Minister said he had not received any proposals from the Chief Secretary. Right. So the two gentlemen are saying, look, they're saying different things. One is saying, I sent the an advanced position, and the other one is saying, no, I didn't get that. Right? But members of the opposition say they got as well. And the question is, how do you bring an opposition composed entirely of Trinidadians, Trinidadian representatives, and a government that is composed mostly of Trinidadian voices, meaning representative Trinidadian voices? How do you do that? Whose voices do you carry? Do you just solve this matter by saying, let's put it to the vote? I bet you that if the government had a majority in the parliament, that bill would have passed. But the electorate did not give the government that kind of special majority. It gave it a simple majority with respect to legislative matters. For there to be the kind of change that might be regarded as politically fair, the government would have had to compromise with the opposition in a way that didn't happen.
When it comes to sorry, Dr. James, when it comes to the recommendations that were sent on Monday from the Chief Secretary via his aide memoir, do you think that the opposition in Parliament at the time had a role to possibly not only echo the concerns of the Chief Secretary with the document, but also recommend the said amendments?
I don't know. When did the aide memoir go out?
I believe it went out on Monday morning.
And you had a parliamentary session that was starting at 10 p.m., right?
Yes.
So if it did go out at that time, and if that was what the document Dr. Rowley was referring to, it is clear that, one, he may not have had a chance to check to see if he had it. Well, I wouldn't put it that way again. He may not have genuinely known that if that is what we are talking about, that had come to his office. And certainly the opposition would not have had that information either. And if both sets of representatives were there to come to the best solution that they could with respect to the autonomy of Tobago, then that could not happen if the information reached them only in the morning. This matter is so
Dr.
important.
James, but MP Saddam Hussein did raise the concern of the document reaching to the opposition an hour ago during the sitting. So he indicated that they did receive it an hour ago.
I missed that. And did he say whether it was enough time?
He did not indicate whether or not it was enough time, but he did use the document as a means of raising concerns while they were going through the bill. But
that was mostly the TIG bill and not the other one.
Do you believe that while concerns were raised by the opposition, that they should have also raised the proposed amendments during that sitting?
You mean the opposition coming up with amendments according to their rights?
No. According to the aid memoir that was sent by the Chief Secretary that morning, that was used as a means of raising concerns by MP Saddam Hussein on the opposition side. I'm asking, do you think that they could have utilized this opportunity if they wanted to really support the bill as well, or see the amendments that Tobago proposed?
But I don't know that they wanted to support the bill. Remember that there was a discussion on the TIG and that all differences were resolved by a simple majority vote for all the clauses. So we are hardly talking about that particular bill because the PNM held the upper hand where a majority was concerned. We are really talking about the other bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill, which did not pass without even discussion. There was no discussion in the House on the bill. And the question is, what kinds of compromise could the two parties make to the satisfaction of the Tobagonian electorate? What are the compromises that were possible? Because this is Tobago's business. And that is one reason why the opposition has claimed that they wanted to represent the views of the Tobagonian electorate. That's what the opposition has said, right? The government on the other hand said, we have consulted enough. It's time we bring closure to this thing. And the only way to do that is to have a vote, right? Without considering any new item and some of the old ones that were rejected that came up. And that is the problem that Tobago has faced. Who talks for it in the official houses of government? Who talks for Tobago there?
Right. And Dr. James, as you said that, it's important to then insert the question, where do we go from here? And how does the trajectory of Tobago's autonomy hinge on having the right representatives in the Parliament for Tobago, representing Tobago East and representing Tobago West?
Well, very good question. I like your question, Ms. Felix. It's a big question. Obviously, we cannot stop fighting for what we believe is the right thing. That's the right for us to determine our destiny. It doesn't belong to anybody else. It belongs to us, right? So we have to keep fighting. When we say keep fighting, there are forces in the representation process that are, numerically speaking at least, stronger than the forces that we can muster as an opposition in Tobago. The same, what goes for the PNM goes for the UNC. If they were in power, we might have had the same problem. We don't know. They came up with a bill, and I think it was 2013, and that bill was wrongly rejected by Tobago by the result of the Tobago House of Assembly election in that period, 12-0, right? And though there were some good clauses, that bill was left to die. If this bill is left to die, and it can die if, for example, it's not promulgated, the TIG bill, then we got to start over. Well, we're going to start over in a context where we have information, but we have to pick and choose what we think are the best clauses for our future self-determination. And so, to answer your question in a different way, yes, we have to keep fighting, and the government has to realize that this is a people question, and they have to keep consulting with the people and their representatives. So that's where it is at now, and you notice that the thing fails because the Trinidadian voices could not agree. And you may argue that one set of Trinidadian voices was following advice from the Chief Secretary from the Tobago House of Assembly, and that may be true. Right? The question is whether they themselves had enough votes on their side to make sure that what Tobago wanted was expressed in new legislation. And clearly, neither the PNM nor the UNC had the required number of voices or votes to make a special majority happen. It's all under the authority and in the control of the government in Trinidad. And that takes me back to what has happened to Tobago over the years. It's not the masses of Tobagonians who ran the island. It is the colonial office that ran the island, and it is the not only the colonial office, but the plantocracy, the people who own the lands.
Yes,
The
Dr.
lands
James.
that they were given.
I wanna squeeze another question in here as we are a bit pressed for time. Now, with a general election looming around the corner, in order for Tobago's autonomy to become realized, we are saying that it hinges on having the right representatives for Tobago in the parliament. Now, yesterday during a conversation with the Chief Secretary, he indicated that once upon a time when Tobago had 2 independent representatives in the parliament, that's when the most was ever done for Tobago. Do you agree with this sentiment?
Who are the independent members?
He was talking about during the time of Robinson.
Does Robinson and who? Winston Murray?
Yes.
And that was the most. Certainly, with respect to bringing the matter, putting the matter on the agenda of the parliament and getting a motion developed in his name, Robinson, of course, had the stature in the whole country to do that and to get unanimity in the vote at that time. And if you mean that is the most, by that you mean the most, then yes, that's correct. Winston Murray, by the way, his ideas were, and that has not come out, but his ideas were instrumental in the shaping of the motion that was passed in 1977. Winston's contribution, of course, dwarfs, Robinson's contribution dwarfs Winston's contribution to the motion, but that's because Winston did not have the same kind of stature, the same kind of vast image that Robinson did. So maybe we can say that. This is, of course, short of the research being done with respect to a comparison between the contribution of one set of representatives and the other. So I'm just saying that one cannot scientifically say that that is true, but one can note that Robinson got the whole parliament to support the bill that he brought. But that bill, of course, turned out not to be sufficient because we are still locked in confusion and in debate between government and opposition where the matter of what Tobago really wants is concerned.
All right. Dr. James, when it comes to moving forward again, what is the characteristics of the type of representatives that Tobago would need to appoint in that next general election?
You're talking about who the electorate should vote for, Ms. Felix?
I am asking what are the characteristics of the type of individuals that Tobago needs to put in the parliament to ensure that Tobago gets autonomy?
Well, he must have Tobago's interests at heart, and he must have had a history of representing Tobago before he became elected or becomes elected. That is for sure. So he must be knowledgeable about Tobagonian issues. He must know the historical context. He must be willing to receive views from every sector of the community. And whatever skills and knowledge he needs to get that, he must acquire such skills and knowledge. That's what I would say in respect of that. And I believe that some of those characteristics are available in those who now represent us. But it's just that it's not enough. As I said to you, the Tobago representatives have not been able to forge their own independence of voice in the context of their being not only members of the PNM, not only having won the seat on the PNM ticket, but they have been there as members of the government itself. As I say, they have become ministers in the government, and those things have affected their trueness of representation of the of the island. You can't represent the island truly if you are an agent of the Prime Minister. You are a minister in his government. You are a member of the party and so on. Not that you can't. I should say that you have to be able to do your politics in such a way that people see you as having that independence. They must ask themselves, do they have those characteristics? Are they seen as having the interests of Tobago at heart? Or are they parrots of the positions taken by the Prime Minister and the rest of his cabinet?
Thank you so much, Dr. James. We want to thank you so much this morning for coming on. And again, we want to say congratulations to you on being a gold medalist as you attained the Tobago Medal of Honor gold during that Tobago Day celebration. Again, congratulations to you for all the work that you have done in education and as an academic and all the literature that you have put out on Tobago, Tobago's autonomy, Tobago's thrust towards development, constitutional reform, and a number of areas that you are often touching on. I want to let the public know that you have said that you would make yourself available to the persons who want to learn, are willing to learn, and are willing to read. All right. And so again,
thank you. And I will just say that we were only just getting started, Ms. Felix.
Excellent, excellent. So this gold medal does not mean that this is the end of your work, but the beginning of something new. And again, you gave your perspectives there on the Tobago Autonomy Bill being rejected in the Parliament on Monday. Where do we go from here? You indicated that it also hinges on having the right representatives in the Parliament and electing the right persons during that next general election, and persons who genuinely want to see Tobago win and have the best interests of Tobago's development at heart. Again, we want to thank you, and we're going to go to a quick break right here, and we're going to see you soon right after this.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to $20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary, Lower Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
Please be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shaw Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. This morning, as we wrap up our session, we are talking about 10 days of Glitzmas, and this is happening at the Botanics Garden this morning. I'm talking about this, and we are chatting all about these celebrations and how you can get involved from Miss Kelly Manette Cameo. She is the Interim General Manager of the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program. Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Right, and so we're talking about 12 days of Glitzmas, and if you don't know, then now you should know that around Christmas time, the Scarborough Botanics Garden is lit up, but it's not only just lit up and allowing persons to come in, but it has advanced to a stage where you now have a certain level of entertainment, food, and activities happening there that the general public can be a part of for a small fee. Talk to us about that.
All right. So this morning, we're here to talk about the 12 days of Glitzmas. And as we know, Christmas is right around the corner. So we are inviting the general public to join us at the Botanic Gardens from today, the 12th of December, all the way through to the 23rd. And for those who were present last year, we have a list of many activities and entertainment, starting off with our opening night tonight with no other than the Sweet Soca Man and our Parang Soca Stars, Baron, as well as Mr. Binley B. And we also have a lineup of entertainment ranging from Pan on the Greens, Sax Under the Stars, Parang, as well as spoken word, storytelling, reading for the kids. And let's not forget our visit with Santa on the final day on the 23rd of December. And all our activities start from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. nightly. Our fees or entrance fees, a nominal fee to come in and enjoy what Tobago has to offer, $20 per adult and $10 per child. And tickets are available at the gate. But we also have season passes for both adults and children. So the season pass is again available at our offices in Botanic Gardens, and also at the gate would be from today And the cost on the season passes would be $220 for adults.
Right. And so we want to encourage persons to tell a friend that the Botanics Gardens and its 12 days of Glitzmas starts tonight. It starts tonight at 6 p.m. and you don't want to miss it, because tonight we are starting off with some heavy hitters. We have Baron and Binley. I mean, tonight is going to be something that you don't want to miss. Is there an age limit for the kids where the fees start? For instance, is there maybe like from 3 years old or from 4? That's when they need a ticket. Babies free?
Of course, babes in arms are free. So kids from as old as 3 to 12 years old, that would be the cost, $10 per entrance fee. We do have an additional entrance fee for the movie nights, which would be on this Sunday coming and the following Sunday. So those fees would be $30 per adult and $20 per child.
Okay. And so are persons, vendors able to come on board still, or you already have all your vendors for these nights?
So we do have all our vendors for the first 3 nights. However, we do have spaces available for vendors who are still willing to be a part of our 12 days of Glitzmas. They can visit us at the Botanic Gardens to see what spaces are available still, because we have vendors lined up from hops and ham, pastel, as well as the traditional popcorn for the kids, what they would like for the movie nights, burgers. But we have a array of drinks also in terms of Christmas goodies and gift items.
So if you are a person and you have maybe a small business, you want to come out, sell ice cream, sell snow cone, you know, the things that the kids love, maybe even those little lighting up balloons, those little trinkets that the kids would be like, you know, mommy, I want one of those. This is the opportunity to take advantage of that. So we want to invite you again. Tonight is the night where it's launching, but you have throughout the weekend and all the upcoming days to participate in the 12 days of Glitzmas. And again, this is being put on by Tobago Reforestation. You don't want to miss it. Tonight is the night to jam a bit in the Botanics, right? Because we have a lot of sweet parang music that's going to be playing. But again, we focused on the kids. So bring the kids, bring the children out, or make it a date night and make it an opportunity to take some lovely Christmas photos and update your content. Now it's Christmas time, so time to post some Christmas tree and Christmas light photos, right?
Definitely.
Exactly. So again, we want to invite each and every person, tell a friend that Botanics is open from tonight. It's literally only $20 for an adult and $10 for children, ranging from ages 10 to 3 years old
to 12.
Right? So be there. And be sure to support all the work that the reforestation unit is doing there at the Botanics Garden. And again, finally, this is an opportunity for employment and entrepreneurship, right? So if you have a business, please contact the reforestation unit there at the Botanics Garden. The office is at the Botanics Gardens, and they can come in and express their interest in being a part of vending at the Botanics Gardens.
Yes.
All right, guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of our discussions this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and I always thank you for your engagement. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, thank you, and have a great day.
60,000 people strong.